man. Okay, yeah, we're back to raw dogging it. No, that means something bad, doesn't it? that means something else. I don't want to.
Fat dogging it. We're fat dogging.
Thank you, thank you. We're back.
Don't you come around here now.
Yeah,
Raw dog.
oh, there she is. That
All
laugh.
right. So you guys are now traversing in the Fate 4. Conversation has become stilted and a little lighter. The mood's a little somber. There's a sense of despair and hopelessness to all this. And you're continuing to drive. So I think at this point, it's you guys decide what you need to do or what you want to do next and where you want to go. Sounded like we were heading to the Liberators, but
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, Liberators first for sure. We all agree on that, right? Except Nash, who was asleep.
Yeah,
All right.
totally asleep.
So I'm going to zoom in on this part of the map here. And we're going to move move by 1 hex. Hope, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll of a d12?
Oh, right.
Would we all have had time to sleep by now, or?
So traversing takes we're going to say, I think it's 120. I can't remember. I have to look that up. I'm sorry.
You got it
about
on the
that.
map there.
Yeah, it's 120. So at 60 miles an hour, it's 2 hours.
Okay.
So you can go ahead. We did establish you can sleep in the vehicle. So if you guys want to set up some rest business, you can. Well, you've been up for a little while now, so we'll say long rest is available if you want to start taking your long rest.
I will start taking my long rest.
I am all up in my long rest.
Vorel?
I guess my coffee probably wore off by now, yeah?
I think you're okay. You had a big fight.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on since then.
You jumped off a dragon.
But I'm willing to wait if there's not room, because that'd be 4 people sleeping in a
There's
box.
room for about 4 people. It is pretty crowded, but if you're
Yeah.
willing to double up and cuddle.
Yeah, you can spoon me.
Okay.
I don't care. Come spoon me.
I'll not to deny the invitation, but I'll move up and kind of sit cross-legged by Hope's box of guns. Join her in the
Okay.
front.
All right. Okay, so we got 2 starting rests. So let's get that first roll going for the first 2 hours.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
Right
kick it
out
off.
the gate. So much for the rest. Jeez.
We hit a bunny. It's terrible.
Hang on,
Worst
let me
thing that
roll.
could have happened.
Okay. Okay, so as you're driving, let's see. Okay, so as you're driving along, Hope, you notice it's still daytime out. It's getting towards the evening, and you notice sort of on your periphery on the left, you see what appears to be a vehicle with a bit of smoke coming out of it. You sort of squint off into the distance. Do you have binoculars? Is that a thing that you have?
I think
I don't know if you
had
have it.
them at one point, but I may have ditched them.
Well, let's say from what you can see is you think you see a couple of figures just hanging out by this wreck of a vehicle. It's not wrecked, but smoking vehicle. It looks like it's burnt down, like overheated and possibly not working. You see a few figures, but you can't quite make out what's going on over there. You see that to your left. You could easily drive by it. Just something you see.
I keep driving.
Okay. Vorel does notice this since he's up there in the front with you.
Oh shoot! Wait, what is Vorel? Okay, I'll wait and see if Vorel.
Well, no.
says
So what
anything.
happens, Vorel, is you notice Hope's behavior is just a little more active, and then you finally sort of catch out of the corner of your eye the wreck. You can see a wreck in the distance. You see that Hope's already seen it and decided to continue driving.
I'll give it a squint and a perception.
Okay.
8.
All right. It's difficult to make out. You see what you think is a humanoid shape, or two, and a wreck smoking in the distance. It's a vehicle that looks like it's been burnt down and they're in the desert.
I'll sigh and sit back into my spot and stare at Hope.
I'll look down at Vorel and meet his stare. Now, I did for the listeners at home. Is your snoot? Where's your snoot facing?
It's facing you. So I've got my back. So you got your box of guns where the passenger seat would, or the shotgun seat would be. It's literally a shotgun seat. Nice. And I've got my back to the wall there, and I'm just kind of sitting with my elbows up on my knees, kind of on my butt, tail wiggling a little bit. I agree, Hope.
Good.
We are on our way to a secret base. And whoever occupies the vehicle is not the sort of people that we are looking to become king of today. They've taken their fate into their own hands. Though
I'm looking at the road again. I'm not staring at Vorel this whole time.
I'm here if you wish to talk.
I'll stay quiet.
All right, you guys continue on quietly. We move to the next hex. Another 2 hours goes by. Let's get another roll, Hope.
8.
Okay. 2 hours goes by without event. You move down to another hex. Let's get another roll.
9.
All right. And one last hex and one last roll, please.
2.
Okay. So the rest of the voyage happens without event. There's nothing but desert. Both Nash and Stanley have benefited from a full rest, as does Bok and Trigger and Bertrand. And finally, you get to sort of the mountains, and Bertrand, as if timing being perfectly, moves up to the front of the vehicle and puts his hand over your seat, puts his head next to yours, and as if to look out from your vantage point, and points his finger up. And he's like, in there. You'll find a passage in there you can pull the vehicle into, and the rest of the way we'll have to climb up on foot.
I'll nod quietly. But
Okay,
as he's gotten closer, my grip on the steering wheel has gotten tighter.
Okay. He directs you into this sort of passage that is somewhat carved into the mountain but looks hidden. You can't really see it from just a periphery glance of the mountain range. As you pull in, it's this narrow passage in between giant sort of rock faces, and then it turns to the right a little bit and turns to the left, and it's a kind of elaborate, definitely man-made dugout sort of passage. And I guess this area where you forms into this small parking lot, and you see a few other vehicles like pickup trucks and sedans, all sort of in there. One larger flatbed truck is in there as well, and then sort of on the other end you see a foot passage leading up into the hills.
Cool. Well, I'll park the vehicle where I see his face.
Yeah, you park it in an available spot there. It's really, they're not the parking lot is not like well organized. People are just parked wherever, so you just find a place to park that's convenient for you to exit as well, sort of reversing the vehicle in a way so you don't have to turn around in case of the need of a quick exit. And as the vehicle comes to stop and the engine shuts off, everyone sort of wakes up because they're no longer being lulled into the the sweet sound of the engine running. So Nash and Stanley, you wake up.
Okay.
It's now the sun's starting to go down. Or the sun is almost down. It's dusk. You slept during the day at this point.
Are we there?
Yep, we're here.
I quickly exit the vehicle.
All right. Up and out and following.
Same.
Bertrand follows you, and he says, just up this way. It'll be about an hour's walk up the hill. So everyone, he starts making his way up along with Trigger, and Bok goes, he's very excited about being in a new place. He's never been here before, so he's excited and expressing his excitement at being here. And he quickly follows after Bertrand and Vorel. So you all make your way. It's a if you weren't being guided by Bertrand, it would be very difficult to dine where it is you would need to go next through the rocks, as the passage sort of winds up past different collections of stone, and you move your way up. Everyone becomes very tired because the walk up is a steep incline. So after about an hour of this, you're now high up into the mountain range and can see sort of the desert below. And as you crest a corner, you find that there's this valley in the mountain range, this sort of small valley, and you see a bunch of tents and makeshift like tent poles with tops on it. You hear the sounds. You see a couple of men hunched over a pot, serving this like slop out of it and feeding it to each other. You just see some of the people you'd recognize as populace of Slave Town up here. Not formidable warriors, everyone looking very ragged, no one with armor or weapons to speak of. And you see a few, mostly humans. You see a couple of halflings, and you actually do spot a couple of half-orcs as well. And there's a lot of, everywhere you look, the people stare sort of at you as Bertrand cuts his way through and says to you, well, we're here. Make yourselves at home. If you need a good sleep, there's a tent over there at the end that we have for guests such as yourself. We'll see you in the morning. And he walks off. So you're in the center of this camp. There are tents all around you. There are people. Noticeably, there are no fires. No open flames, no lights here. But you do see people hanging about. Some of them are eating. Some of them are playing cards.
Is it open out, so like you can see out into the desert from above?
The camp is in a valley, so you'd have to walk up to sort of a rock face on one of its borders to climb up and to see out to the desert.
Among the camp, is there anybody of note that we recognize or would have known from our time in Slave Town?
You don't. Your cursory glance of everything, you don't see anyone you recognize here, with the exception of Bertrand and Trigger.
Well, I imagine it's been a bit of a drive for you, Hope, if you're wanting to turn in. Vorel, I don't know, did you end up resting or not?
No, and I would very much like to sleep beneath the stars once again. I will scale or find a place for myself.
Well, I just finished a bit of a rest, so I think I'm going to just wander the camp and enjoy my evening until I start to feel that I can at least turn in for the remainder of the night.
I'll head to the tent.
All right.
I'm going to walk around with Stanley, by the way, just to irritate him. I'm going to be with Stanley.
All right. So just before they go irritating people, Vorel, you can easily find yourself a place away from camp, amongst the rocks, to sleep underneath the stars. So that's what you're going to go do. Bok Bok will join you. Bok Bok is not leaving your side, so he's going to go and camp with you, and he'll tell you about his adventures.
Excellent.
All right. Okay, so Vorel makes his way off to go find a place to sleep. Hope enters the tent that's been set aside for her, or you guys. And so now you guys are in the center of town. There's no sources of light. There are tents everywhere, and there are people hanging about.
So, a dragon, huh?
What, you want it again right now?
No. You look awful, by the way, especially for someone who still got a full night's sleep and already looked awful. That clearly takes a lot out of you.
Hold on. Awful, like worse than I looked before dragon form, or after?
I mean, like you've got a moist sheen to you, like you're still just sweating uncontrollably.
Well, it is the desert. It's hot out here, and my skin doesn't do well in the hot sun, and we've been down underground for a long time. So it's, this is all to be expected.
you can admit that, it takes a lot out of you to become a dragon, Nash.
It does. I'd really just like a shower.
Can't help you with that.
I'm not even sure that's a word we know. Shower.
I know the word shower, and it's not something I can help you with.
Bath. Water. Is there a river? Anything? Does this town have anything where I could cool down and just rinse off a layer of gross?
I don't know. I'll just find whoever the nearest person is and grab them. Excuse me.
There's an orc sitting next to leaning against a rock with a bowl of like a metal
Perfect.
slop.
Exactly what I would seek out if I needed directions. Spot
A
on.
metal slop. You say, "Excuse me," and he turns his head to you, and you notice his eyeballs, like his eyelids, seem like closed over his eyes, like there's no eyeballs in there.
Like he's blind?
Like perhaps he's blind and doesn't have eyeballs.
Could you point me in the direction of where this crusty individual might find a bath or a shower of some kind?
Do I look like I know where the showers are?
I get up close and sniff. No, he doesn't know where they are.
All right, we'll find somebody else. Come on. Sorry to bother you. Go back to whatever you were doing. All right, we're going to find somebody else. Preferably not an orc, and preferably with eyeballs.
Okay, so you look over to your right, and you see there's a couple of humans. They're wearing like raggedy top hats, and they're seem to be actually sharpening a blade. One of them sort of holding the blade down, while the other one sharpens with a whetstone across it.
Good evening. Are they men, women?
They're human, two human males.
Okay.
Bearded.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Stanley Billings. My travel companion here, Nash Magard, is a sour, smelly individual, and I'm looking to rectify such a matter. Do you know where we might find some water with which we can wash off his nastiness?
What did he say, Bill? I think he said he was looking for a bath for his princess over there. Well, I think we better tell him it's not in a comfortable town anymore. And he needs to go take himself to the kingdom.
Princess.
Yeah. All right, there, princess. I don't think you understand. We don't have showers here. This is a camp.
How do you people take care of yourselves? What do you do?
Well,
they stink. Nash is what they do. Good luck to you. Good meeting you. You have yourselves a fine evening. Nash, I don't know why we're even bothering with this, and I prestidigitate him.
Okay.
I'm taking a dirt bath. And I hit the ground and I just start.
Nash, I literally just cleaned you. What are you doing?
Well, I'm taking a dirt bath.
You are like a small child.
No, it's Vorel he's a wise lizard. I've learned some things from him, and one of the things he does is he hits the dirt and uses the dirt to just sort of wash everything away. It's a great thing we should take from him.
Prestidigitate the dust off of him.
Oh, well, all right. Fine.
This is clean.
Oh.
You want to know how I know? Because this spell magically cleans things.
All right. Well, then maybe use that more often.
I use it plenty, as I have been told. So, you're still butt ugly, but you're now clean butt ugly. Is there anything else you want to do, or are you following me for a particular reason?
Just killing time. Nothing here to do yet, and until we need to shut down for the night, I figure we just kind of see what's going on around here. Unless you'd rather not have the company.
No, it's fine. Just, you've been through a lot. You, handling all that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Once I get lots of rest, I can, I can kind of get back to myself and be ready for using this again, but only when we need it. It's one of the things been going through my mind as we've been traveling, and as I slept, I dreamt about it. The right way to use this. Not become cocky about this power and only use it when we need it. And I'll need you and the whole team to help me do that. There could be times where I worry anyway, that anger could overtake me. And the dragon would come out whether it was the right time or not. So cooler heads like yours, Vorel's, and Hope's, although increasingly she's kind of a hothead. I don't know if you've noticed.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I'm worried.
I think we're all having a hard time dealing with what we've been through. I mean, you walked out of the situation being able to turn into a damn dragon. Maybe it's easier to feel better about yourself when that's the case, but, Hope sounds like she went through a lot. She found out more than most. I think she'll right her sails eventually, but for now, we just gotta look out for one another.
I agree.
And if you need help controlling your power, Nash, that's... Hell, Nash, why do you think I give you such a hard time?
I don't know. I just thought you were dicking around with me.
No, it's because, Nash, you've been given great power. I have to study and work and research and practice for every ounce of magic that I am able to use. I have to throw myself into it. And without even a little bit of effort, you're able to blow right past me. It's ridiculous. And to see you have that sort of power and use it in such a nonchalant way that would hurt people you care about, it just lacks any sort of responsibility. I'm trying to help you focus that. Because, Nash, you're too powerful, and you need to understand how to wield that effectively.
Well, my instinct is to take the blunt end of my staff and jam it in your eye for saying such a thing, but I'm trying to be humble. I'm trying to understand what it means to have this weighty power, and I'll do that. I'll listen. I'll take your advice, and then ping. Nash will remember this.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to walk the camp a little bit. These are clearly the best kind of folk you want to spend time around, and then I think I'm going to call it an evening as well.
Sounds good. And off we walk.
All right, so you walk the camp, and you try to have interesting, engaging social interactions, but everyone here is very somber. They've been dealt harsh hand in life. They are under the boot heel. They've been kicked from their home, and they don't feel much friendly towards strangers. And they don't know the great powers that you guys have. You just look like more schmucks to them, right? More people sort of on the shores of despair, more mouths to feed, another excuse to drain even more resources, and no one's all that friendly towards you. This place has a very great lack of hope. That's your read on it. So after spending some time exploring the state of affairs here in this Liberator camp, you turn in for the evening, get a bit more rest. Nash, you can make sure to clear 2 levels of your exhaustion. Remember, you had a full 4. So you're at exhaustion level 2.
Yeah, and I'm such a dummy.
You just have to
this.
make a note of it.
It's just a note, right? Because there's nothing in here that lets me.
No.
Okay.
No.
Actually, there is.
There is?
Under your hit points, there's a box that says conditions, and at the very bottom, you can click which level of exhaustion.
Oh, you're right. I didn't see this before. Okay, cool. Sorry, what was I at and where I was at 8?
Well, you're at 2
2.
now, currently.
I'm at
With
2. I
2
was
long
at 4.
rests.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put you at 2. You've
right.
had some extended rest. A few more days, and you'll be back to...
that's awesome. Okay, I didn't see that
goodness.
before. Good find.
So, something you might consider is staying here for a few days to clear up your... It's not a pleasant place to be, but, it's as safe a haven as you found thus far.
Okay.
But you wake up in the morning to the smell of fried sand squid running into the tent. And Vorel, you can also smell the fried sand squid. And there you see, you poke your head out. One of you pokes your head out, and you can see that there's like a table. There's a few people cooking up on a small flame, cooking up some sand squid. And there's a lineup of people, and they're getting their, someone's ladling in fried sand squid into slop bowls for everyone to eat. It's, it's a military kitchen lineup. Nothing fancy about the food, but it does smell delicious, given that it's cooked food.
I would like to go hunting.
Okay. Well, Vorel, you decide to go off hunting. Bok will join you.
I'll go get in line for my sand squid. I've missed it so.
Okay. So while Vorel goes off, he's not present with you guys. The three of you line up, and after 20 minutes of wait, you finally get to your turn, and you each get a portion of sand squid and a yellow viscous-looking liquid to drink. You're not sure what it is. Some kind of mead. Doesn't look appetizing at all. And you take your portions and go to a table and sit down together to eat your ration breakfast. Vorel, what are you hunting?
Let's see, in these mountains? I guess I would first be determining kind of what the health of the land is here. I know we're on the mountains that run along the Dead Fingers.
So in the mountains, you might find panthers or mountain cats of various kinds. There would be large birds. You might find eggs, a nest of some kind from a large bird. Goats may be findable up here.
Goat, eh? I'll look for some tracks and see what I can find this morning.
Sure.
Survival, a 15.
Okay. Let's see.
I wish I hunted for food.
All right.
Like
So
such a
you
better deal.
Yeah, you look around for tracks of some kind, and the one thing you actually do find, you find that there are bear tracks nearby, and you guess that bears sometimes approach living settlements because of the scraps of food they leave behind and the waste they throw to the ground. And you wonder what this bear's doing around here. Pretty brave for a bear to be so close to an encampment, but you do find bear tracks.
I will caution Bok as to the nature of bears to keep hidden, and I'll follow the tracks.
Okay, survival check.
6.
Okay, so you follow the tracks some way, and then they lead up to, but a half an hour elapses. They lead up to a clearing, and you can start to hear the breathing, but can't see the animal. But you do know it's there amongst the rocks of this valley.
All right, I'll. So this entrance to the valley, I know that it moves through here. So in my sort of classic lizard folk hunting style, I would camp out that pass, hidden, ready to jump from my little buried sand pit and latch onto a throat or a jugular of some kind and bite until it goes down.
Do you have any bait for him?
No.
Bok.
Look about my person, realize I don't have any of my possessions but my shield. Look at Bok.
I mean, that bears are enticed by, you could put blood in the air, and if they do have a taste for flesh, you could bleed out on a rag and tie it up to something.
But I also know it's visiting the camp area for trash or something in the evenings of some kind. So without any rush, I'd probably just set up and basically wait on the game trail.
Okay, so let's get a stealth check, please. Before you do that, where are you sending Bok Bok? Because his nature is a little noisier than you'd prefer, I would think.
Yeah. Oh, I would set up Bok Bok with a stick, some 100 yards away, down the path, back towards town, so it would kind of mesh with the town noises. And I'd tell him that I wish him to design me a standard, a flag, for the Great Lizard King. And I will take into suggestion any symbols he comes up with.
Okay. So he says, "Ah, he says, we'll try best. We'll try best, my liege." And then he runs, or my lord, rather. And then he runs off with the stick, with his new project.
15 on stealth.
15. Okay, so you gather up the sand all around you, and you're nothing but two eyeballs in a sand hill. And you lie in wait. Let's roll a survival check, please.
13.
Okay. And you hear the clawing of sand after, what seems like a few hours goes by. And you see, finally here, you see the bear crest the corner of the rock. As it sniffs around your sand hill. It smells something and is clearly investigating this area.
All right,
detected you.
When it gets that snoot close, I'm gonna bite it.
Okay, so the wet nose, and then you go make your attack roll.
Explode from the sand
with advantage because you're attacking from stealth.
Excellent. Ooh, 19, so a 25.
And you're biting it?
Yep.
Okay. Damage dice.
10.
Okay, so you're just your jaws peek out, almost moving like a silent ship cutting through clouds, and then springs into action. As you bite the bear goes as it screams out, and he swipes back with claws wildly back at you. Your AC 16, right?
I wouldn't have my shield equipped in the sand, so 14.
14. Okay, and so his two claws sink into yours, connecting for so one claw swipes in, cutting your chest, doing 11 points of damage. The next one swipes in, cuts in, he sort of punctures you with the other claws as it grabs your arm, not grappling, but just sinks in with the claws, does 5 points of damage to you as he's like on top of you, swiping at you, but you're bitting him on his neck area, right? So his head's not free, like you've bitten him here.
Yeah, exactly.
Neck. Yeah. Okay, now it's your turn to attack him again.
Never mind, I'm happier about the sand squid now.
Yes, all right.
My lips curl in a smile, knowing I've met a mighty foe, and I enter my rage.
All right.
And I'm gonna make a reckless attack, a natural 20.
Okay. Roll double your damage dice.
Excellent. Yep. That'd be 6, 10 again.
Okay. So this is your attack is with your claws?
This would be biting down even harder.
Okay. So you bit him once, and then he recoils back, and then you jump out from where you're buried into the ground and bite him again. And then it fights back, and it stands up. It's sort of the bear's standing upright, but you're as tall as it roughly, so it doesn't matter. You bite down onto it, and you guys are now wrestling. A big pile of dust sort of gets kicked up from this savage attack on one another. The bear this time attempts to bite you back. And he does so, biting into your neck for 12 points of damage.
Cool. I'm now raging, so that'll be 6.
Okay. Yeah, it's pierce. Oh, slashing, by the way. I don't know if you have different resistances. And he's going to make a claw attack that misses. So he swipes at you wildly, but he's able to his mouth, all this like sweat and like not sweat, but spit comes out of his mouth, and there's this sort of this is presence of the breath as it bites down into your scales. But yeah, you're resistant to it because your scales, right? Like it's not. Yeah. So your turn again.
Cool. I will. So I will spin off him, free action, equip my shield, the Beholder Tooth shield, and just go to slam it into him with a lightning attack as well.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying every moment of it.
Okay.
Gonna cook that bear meat at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And tie it to the top of the car.
22.
It's a hit.
Nine points of damage.
Okay. That's for your shield slam.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you get the dexterity dodge for the lightning.
Okay. So the dexterity dodge, he does dodge it miraculously.
Cool.
It
1
just
point of
doesn't
lightning
hit.
damage.
So 1 point, so another 10 damage.
Yep.
Okay. So he does absorb some of the electricity. You do rifle him in the face with the shield, and he's as he backs up, and he begins to attempt to run away. So the bear, realizing you're the stronger opponent, starts barreling down the valley across through the rocks.
Barreling.
Not. He's barreling down.
Awesome. I will take one of the teeth. So I'll throw aside the shield as I do, pulling one of the teeth free, using it as a dagger, and just start booking after him. Gonna go for a jump and slam.
All right, attack roll.
Jumping in, reckless attack. 13.
Okay, so you jump into the air with both hands on the beholder tooth, like raised up above your head like this.
Yeah.
As you bring it down, you jump down. It lands right in his spinal cord in the back of his neck area as you jump on top of him, and the bear's galloping, and when you stab him, it's like, and then he just and he hits the ground and slides, and you're just sort of surfing on sand for a little bit. And then it comes to a stop, and you just hear this exhalation, this last final exhalation of breath as the bear goes, and then it's still. With there's bear slobber all around his mouth, sort of gooping up the sand into little gooples, whatever you call it, balls of goop.
I will give it a twist and a back and forth, and then leap up, look around, start banging my chest at any of the mountains around to see if there's anybody who wants a piece of this kill. No? And I'll get to work on it.
All right, Buck runs down. He's like, "Arr!" He runs down. He's like, glory to the king. And he's got the stick, and he's drawn like basically a happy face with two lizard ears on it. It's a picture of you on the flag, and you think he's drawn it with, he's found some plant or something that was inky, and it doesn't look very good. But he runs down. He's like, glory to the king, glory, as he runs down into the valley towards you.
In consideration, Bok.
Yes. Concede.
I will make you a cape. And I start crafting.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get myself whatever meats I can, and I'd like to use the skull with my cunning artisan lizard folk business.
Okay.
To make a mace. A bear skull mace.
All right. What are you using for a handle?
Oh, I guess. Wait. So yeah, like I'll use the tendons and then a bone up into the mace. So it's a skull on the end of a.
Yeah, like I imagine you're using other parts of the bones to hold it together, right?
Yeah, and the tendies and all that.
the attendees. I mean, some of that stuff rots away.
Yeah, I mean, my shield probably isn't doing too hot at this point, so
I mean,
I need to reinforce it.
If you need leather straps, you can take the skin and you can take the hide and use it to tie things together.
Yeah.
Bok has a stick. You know, he made a flag, but that stick is there. Just
So I will, wherever I camped last night, I will go. I will, begin work on this bear skull mace. I will bury the body, but I'll also take some fine cuts of meat to my friends and one of the arms, because I'm proud of it, over my shoulder. One of the
You're not going to take the whole thing with you? You're taking an arm and you're cutting off some hunks of meat, like in a pouch that you've also made probably from it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to town to feed my friends.
Okay.
But
all right. By the time you've done all this, roll a survival dice, please. Let's see how long it takes to do all this.
6.
Okay, so it's going to be probably towards dinner time that this will all be done. You'll be gone for the day.
Sweet.
All right, perfect. So you begin collecting all you begin making your mace and collecting the meat shanks and a pouch to bring it in and spending the day with Bok in the mountains. Back to breakfast with Stanley, Hope, and Nash. Vorel's gone. He hasn't shown up. And you guys are having breakfast.
Yeah.
You ever feel like Vorel's got the right idea about hunting? Because I'm really getting sick of sand squid.
We should go with him one of these days. I'd like to see what it takes to take down a great beast.
I don't know. He seems to do it well enough. It's probably not a big deal.
He's a giant lizard. He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast himself. Somebody's hunting him. We just don't know it.
I imagine he just leaps out and fells a creature in one swift stroke.
What do you think the biggest thing is he's brought down?
Oh, man.
Didn't you tell us he punched a dragon once? Do you think he really did that, or do you think he imagined?
He just bonked me on the head while we were flying out of the mine. Close enough.
I guess that would work.
Yeah.
But what dragon would he have punched?
I don't know. He comes back and he says, "It's all right, everybody. I did it. I did the thing." And then he tells you these fantastic stories, and you think, well, he's probably lying. But then next thing you know, he explodes, and there's fire all around him. And
I think Vorel smoked some of the desert weed.
you think so?
I think that might be what he does.
Well,
We can look for him and see what he does.
that's what I'm saying. We could go with him and witness either these great feats or him getting stoned.
Okay, I want to know. I'm too curious. We got to go see if we can find him.
We try and track Vorel.
Yep. I'll admit this took a weird turn, but it's what we want to do.
Yep, we're doing it.
Yeah, I was planning something completely different.
That's what we thought.
Now that that's come up, so you guys kind of get up, and during this conversation, you notice there's a couple of young men at a table, sort of across from there, who've been paying a lot of attention to you, Hope. They keep looking back to you. Yeah, they're sort of these handsome young men. They keep sort of looking back, and
Humans?
who has the knock on the door?
I got somebody at the door.
Oh.
It scared me. I was like,
Uh-oh.
They knock on the door.
it sounded
What
like a
door?
debt collector knock.
The Arizona or Phoenix PD, open the door. I laughed.
We
But
heard you have an illegal Sylvana statue in your building.
yeah,
Let's take
we
it.
it's
More chief contraband.
Keep your dice where we can see them.
who please say it was Jehovah Witnesses, please. Who was it?
Friend of mine. He's bringing me a key to work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a pizza or something.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Wish it
So
was pizza. Oh my gosh, that's great.
so yeah. So you noticed a few. There's been a few young men sort of hitting each other in the shoulder and paying attention to you, Hope.
How old are they?
They're young men. They're like kids.
Kids.
Oh, okay.
They're like 18. They're really young, and
They human?
they're humans. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll give him a little smile as I walk away as we go hunt Vorel.
Okay, and that sort of causes a reaction as one of them punches the other one in the gut as you guys move away.
Those guys I don't trust those guys.
Nash, they're kids.
Yeah, but they're looking at you weird. They're creepy.
Don't people look at you weird?
Yeah. But not like leering and stuff. Something's up there. I don't like it.
I think they might think I'm pretty.
Yeah. That's hey, I say.
They turn around and look at you, Nash.
And I say,
they have the sort of their eyes are kind of wide.
Draw a picture. It'll last longer. Because there's no pictures to take. You can't, there's no photos in this world.
And then one of them looks at one of their friends. You don't hear what's said, but you hear like they're making fun of you.
Nash, let him go.
This isn't hold on a second. Fight. No, listen. All right, and then I would like to shoot a firebolt into the sky. Into the sky, please.
Okay, you do it. You shoot a firebolt into the sky.
Okay.
You don't need to roll.
I don't have to roll. It's not an attack. It's just a scare tactic.
Shoot a firebolt, and everyone kind of the whole camp kind of freezes up.
I'm going to be tackling him. I may not be in time to stop it, but it will be right after.
All right. It'll be after or before he does.
I mean,
he's going to do it.
If I see him about to do it, I'm trying to stop him.
Okay, then roll. So you have to grapple him to stop him. So Stanley goes to grapple you as you shoot out the firebolt. Roll a grapple contest, please.
This is so me in real life, by the way. This is exactly what I would be doing.
You throw a firebolt at me.
Well, I would do like if I was with one of my daughters or somebody and somebody's leering at him, I would like this is totally. I mean, it's not the same, but I would totally pick a fight, and my wife would be like, "Knock it off. Don't worry," and she'd be like trying to get me away from him.
Or is it strength, Bo? Is it strength?
It's strength. It's strength for the person grappling. It can be dexterity or strength for the person defending. You have to roll a dice, Scott.
Oh, what am I rolling?
20 for grapple.
I rolled a 10.
Stanley's grappling you.
Sorry.
Did you add your athletics to it?
I did. I rolled a 10 and I added my athletics, and so it's 10.
Let's get a d20.
Oh wait. Oh, if it's adding athletics, then it's 11. I do have them.
Okay, so 15. I have no modifier.
So you attempt to grapple him, but he sort of dexterously sort of sidesteps your attempt to grapple and then fires the firebolt up in the air. The entire lunch camp quiets as they all stare at you.
Did you see that? Why don't you leer at that for a while? What?
You goddamn idiot, Nash.
What?
Did you notice there wasn't a single campfire all night? They want to keep this place secret, and you just shot a flare into the sky.
Oh shit! I didn't think of that. I'm trying to defend her honor. They were making faces at her, and then made faces at me. You can't get away with that. I'm Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines.
All right, so one of the young
beat the shit out of you. She doesn't need you to defend her honor.
Well, one of the young men gets up.
Honor?
one of the young men gets up. The one that has mainly been sort of looking at Hope gets up and walks towards you and takes his sort of hat off and puts it in front of him and says, "I'm really sorry, Mister. I'm really sorry. We just think your friend is she's cute. She's cute. We're sorry.
Don't do it again.
We won't.
Right.
And then he sort of backs off and sort of bowing a little bit and grabs his friends and they run off.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they've run off now?
They run off to they just run off.
All right.
They just sort of take off around a corner and you don't see them.
Sorry, you guys.
Nash,
I mean, we're on. You keep talking.
Damn well hope that it's too bright out for anybody to have noticed that.
You keep telling me our team is us, and I'm. We got to watch out for each other. I got a little. Maybe I got a little emotional there, but.
You think so?
Yeah.
I appreciate the care you have, Nash. Thank you.
I've grown fond of her.
Nash, we just talked last night, hours ago, about using your magic responsibly. You didn't make it a few hours.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me. I'm reactionary. It's hard. My whole life is reaction. Everything's a reaction. Every time I've ever had to face anything, it's seat of my pants. I don't even have pants.
You're hurting me.
Let's just get Vorel. Forget about it. They're gone. It's too bright for anyone to notice. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, so you guys are moving off now to go find Vorel.
Yeah.
Let's get survival checks from all of you as you approach the edge of town.
Natural 1.
Got
What did you get, Nash?
It's a 6 total, but a 1's a 1.
I have +3, so 7. Not great.
Okay, so you guys wander through the forest a bit, and you guys are really convinced you found Vorel's tracks. And for several hours, you follow these tracks.
You say the forest? We're in a forest? What did you call it?
No, you're in you're in the mountains. So there's
Okay.
rock faces. You climb up and climb low, and there's these little valleys in the mountains.
Okay.
And anyway, so for several hours, you follow these tracks, convinced they're Vorel's tracks, and that you found him, only to realize that they fade out. And then when you turn around and look back, you can't really find the tracks you followed, and you're now lost in the mountains. And so you make an attempt to return back to camp, and then you find that that wasn't the way back to camp, and now you just have no idea where you are. All you see are endless mountains on either side of you.
I
And
go.
you can't tell where the camp is hidden because it is well hidden in the mountain range.
Well, Stanley, this was a fine idea you had to go try to find Vorel. Well done.
Well, I think we all wanted to do it.
Yeah, but it was your idea, damn it.
I don't know what Vorel's footprints look like. I figured they were the only footprints out here.
Well, they're big lizard footprints. So unless any of us are professional trackers, the only one I know of is, I don't know, Vorel.
We could try to get a pie and see if we could find the camp.
Did you say a pie?
Yeah, there are mountains.
Oh,
Up high.
I thought
Nash.
you meant a pie, like we're going to eat a pie.
Yeah, Nash, we're lost out in the woods. It's really time for a pie.
Well, it sounded good at the time. All we
That's
had...
a good idea, Hope. Let's see what we can see. We'll head towards whatever the highest point we can find is.
There is a point that nearby that you can climb up that looks higher, but you're gonna have to climb it. You guys have any climbing gear?
I have a rope
Has a rope.
and a movable rod.
There we go.
Served us well before.
I mean, how does that work?
Who's got the best climb? What would that be? Athletics or would it be acrobatics?
Probably athletics.
I have no
I'm
modifiers.
not very athletic.
Yeah. I have no modifiers on athletics. It should be negative. It's so bad.
I get a +1.
I'm tied with you, but I'll go for it. I'll
Okay.
grab the rod and try to shimmy my way up. Right, we have a rope attached to it, yeah?
Yeah.
How does that work exactly with the rod? Like I get you can hang off the rod, but you have to unclip it. So what are you hanging on in the meantime to move higher?
I know what he does. I got it.
Oh.
Here's what you do. Maybe I explain this to Stanley, but first I guess the DM better make sure I'm not up in the night here. But okay, you hold it up a little ways up, the rod, click. Okay, now it's solid. Climb up so that rod is just right here, and then very quickly go click, click, and put it up there really fast. I think
It's a good thing Nash is not attempting the climb, but I wish I could see it.
You could.
That's
That
not
sounds
too
like
bad though, right? Because you can hold it up, climb up the rock a little, get a stronghold,
I mean,
then
you could
put it up.
Yeah.
could
Like,
probably, if you were strong enough, push yourself a little bit and click. Like, yeah, okay, that's
Use it
gotta
as
be
a guide and tie
that's
the rope to it and around your waist, so that if
That
you
I would
fall,
say-
it catches you.
That I would say is a difficult sleight of hand check in order to do it nimbly enough.
Well, then I would do that.
Okay, difficult sleight of hand check. Like that's rolling 15s on your DC every
Okay.
time.
Wait,
What if we came up with a different idea? What if we found the next highest point that didn't require a difficult climb?
Yeah, is there any terrain?
Anthill?
If we look around, is there any terrain that we can see that's more climbable or hikeable than?
Well, the terrain is rock face. It's steep, so it's not you can't walk up a bit. You'll have to find handholds and climb your way to the top of the mountain, which is possible because it is on an incline most of the way up on the mountains you see.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But there is a possibility of falling.
It's all right. There's always a possibility of falling.
As you guys discuss trying to find a way up a mountain, you hear sort of a bush. There's a little dirt bush off to the side, and it rattles.
What's a dirt bush?
Just like a brown crappy
Oh,
leaves,
okay.
twigs. Yeah, it's not green or shrubbery. You hear a little bush rattle.
I played bass for Bush Rattle in high school.
There are rocks on the
The
ground.
leaves shake it. Yeah, there are rocks on the ground.
I'll pick up a rock and I'll chuck it at the bush.
All right, you chuck the rock at the bush, and you hear "ow, ow."
And then
Ow!
I'll raise my gun.
Wait,
Who's
ow,
there?
ow, like it's words.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! And then I'm coming out. And then a foot sort of comes out. It's this pinstripe pants, this leather shoe, and a man saunters out. And you recognize this man. You've seen him before. It's Slippery Brent. He
Wait.
scratches.
Slippery
Oh,
Brent.
that guy.
He's like,
How do we know Slippery Brent from
The
when?
guy who was hooked on Pixie Blush, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
He's like, wait. I know you. You guys are the champions of Rusty Cage.
Uh-huh.
You guys have any pixie blush?
What are you doing out here?
I don't know. I ended up in here.
Do you know how to get out of here?
What are you doing here?
Do you know how to get out of here?
We're out for a walk.
I think I flew up here.
What?
There was a mermaid.
They don't fly.
It's a
And
mermaid.
she said, the way out is through the tunnel. And I went through the tunnel. And I ended up at a casino.
The hell is that?
This is what it was like dealing with you not too long ago, Nash. So, just keep that in mind as we go through this little adventure.
Do you guys have any pixie blush?
No.
No.
If we did, hold on. If we did, what would you do for it? Will you get us out of here? Do you know the way out?
I did know the way out.
Have you seen a lizard here? A big lizard folk?
Ooh, did you see a lizard?
We have a lizard, but he's currently up here and not with us.
Nash, before you say too much, let's keep in mind we don't know where our friend Slippery came from, and we may not necessarily want him going the same places that we decide to go because he's annoying.
Well, you remember I did you a big favor. I gave you the map of Slavetown.
Yeah,
Help
I
you
believe
find your way
you
around.
charged us for it when we were told to give it to us for free.
No, I didn't charge you anything for it. That's not right. I gave it to you.
I think you
But
took money that went right up your nose. Or however you do pixie dust, I guess. What do? You don't snort it?
You would know better than any of us.
I got it in pill form or something, didn't I? I don't remember. There were rabbits and shit. I don't remember. You know what?
oh,
Stanley,
you've
you
taken
should talk.
Pixie Blush.
Yeah, I have. It was terrible.
So you must have some. Do you know where I can get some?
Well, again, it depends on what you can do for us.
Well, I had something I was supposed to do while I was up here. I'm looking for something.
What?
Really? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Ferris wheel.
Did you say furt?
No,
And how has that search gone for you?
we haven't found it.
Yeah.
But
Who said? Who? What do you mean we?
well, I got Celovus. You know Celovus. He sent me up here. He said to go find a Ferris. I think a Ferris wheel. I don't remember. I wish I had some pixie dust. Then I'd remember. Pixie blush, not dust. No one wants pixie dust.
Do we? I turn around to everybody. Do we have? We don't have any. Do we?
No,
I
we
think.
don't have any.
Do you have any food? I haven't eaten in like 5 days. Do you have any food?
If he's looking for the town, we have to kill him.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Why?
Can you guys roll stealth checks for this whispering?
You slippery.
We just talked really quietly.
Oh, I don't have to roll. I haven't said anything. I'm not rolling.
I could.
24.
Okay.
16.
Okay. He remains oblivious to your whispers.
Okay.
I think well, we're friends here, right? So Celovus sent me here to find something. You know what? If we find it, then I can just go back. You guys can take me back to Slave Town, right?
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
can
We can
go
take
back
you
to Slave
back.
Town. And we
But I
get
gotta-
high. I know where my supply is in Slave Town, so I'll give you some of Brent's special stash.
But let me tell you. You said you'd be able to find it if you had some pixie blush. So
Yeah.
this can be between you and us here. What if we went back, got your supply, then we'd be able to find it right away, and you would get back that much sooner, and Celovus would be so proud of you.
Wait, what? We're just gonna go back?
Yeah, let's just
To
go
my supply?
back. Get your
But do you know how to
supply.
get out of here? I think I'm lost.
I mean, you've been climbing up, right? So naturally it would be to head down.
Oh, I've been here so long. I brought about 10 kilograms of pixie blush with me, and I'm out. I've been up here for months now.
I'll tell you what. We were
Well, not
just
much,
thinking
but-
about climbing this little cliff right here to see if we could get a lay of the land. I bet if you climbed up there, you'd be able to see maybe what you're looking for and let us know how to get there.
Do you have something to help me climb up?
Sure, here's a rope. I hand him the rope.
He takes the rope in his hand. He's like, "How do I climb with this?"
You tie it around your waist, you start climbing, and I'll hold on to the other end, and if anything happens, we'll catch you.
Okay. Persuasion check, please.
Maybe not bad. That's going to be a 13.
Okay, but you got. I really would like to do some pixie blush before I go climbing something. You don't
Well,
have any for me?
Unfortunately, we don't have any, but we can get you some as soon
nuggets.
as you're done. Got to do this first.
You say
Mm,
nuggets? Was it nuggets?
nuggets.
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 All right. I like it.
Okay. And he ties the rope around himself.
Sweet.
he says-
I'll go behind Stanley and grab onto the rope as well.
He starts climbing up. Okay, so he makes it up a few feet, and it's like you can see the muscles. Like he's very skinny, and the muscles are super tense, and they just like his hands just give way, and he falls. He drops a few feet, and he's like, "Ugh. I don't think I can do this, you guys. That was messed up." And he's lying in a pile on the ground right now, going like,
How long did you say you've been out here?
Well, let's see. There was this cat, but he had like a robot leg, like a machine leg, and the cat said that we'd been up here for 3 weeks. And the cat, he had a bird friend, and the bird friend, he kept shitting on me. I didn't like him very much.
I think you're seeing stuff from your. I've taken pixie blush, and I've been told all of the bunnies I saw in my little vision weren't real. So I don't think
You saw bunnies.
I don't
The
think
bunnies.
none of this existed in real life. It was all in your head.
All right,
The
I'm gonna
bunnies would tell
grab.
us.
I'm gonna grab Slippery. I'm gonna give him a
Mhm.
little shake so he's paying attention. Look at me. You got this. You want to get more pixie blush, right? Well, you give it one more go. You get up there, and then you can have all the pixie blush you need. I have faith in you that you can do this. I'm gonna give him inspiration.
Okay. He looks at you, his mind bewildered, and he just immediately starts crawling up the side of the cliff.
Wow.
Inspiration's a D6 right now at your level. Bardic
Yes.
inspiration. Okay. He starts climbing up like crazy. He's saying, we'll be all right. We're gonna get right soon. We're gonna get right soon. His hands as it climbs up, and he just furiously, like a furious skinny animal, starts shooting up the side of the mountain cliff. He's up about 8 or 9 feet in the air as he starts to get up on top of this high rock. And he looks around. He's like, "Okay, what am I looking for?"
What all do you see?
Oh, everything's gray. It's gray. And brown.
You don't see anything of interest.
And he's quiet for a minute, and he says, "Oh, I see it."
What do you see? What direction?
He points to the northwest. I think I see a camp.
Oh,
I think it's a camp.
That was going to be Gorp or Glorp, whatever his name is.
It's either a camp or a swamp. I think it's probably a camp, though.
To the northwest.
Northwest. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Slippery. You've been
Let's
a
go
great
there.
help, and I pull the rope as hard as I can.
Oh, no.
Athletics check.
I can help with this.
Oh yeah, because you're holding it too.
Yeah.
That's an 11 for me.
8.
Holy
Okay.
Moses.
All right, so you pull the rope, and he goes, "Oh!" And he falls down. Now he's only about 15 feet up, so
Oh, I thought it was way higher than that.
I'll pull out my machete. It's time to finish the job.
all right, he takes it.
He might be spying for Celivis. We can't have him accidentally finding the.
I heard the impact of Kyle's facepalm from here. And his head snapped against his palm. Okay, so he hits the ground and he goes, "Oh! I broke my arm!" And there's just this crack as his arm sort of dangles the wrong way, and a little bone doesn't pierce the skin. There's just this little bump.
Ugh.
There's a bump, and he's like, "Oh! This is real. I think this is real. Oh!" And he looks at you with like,
Not the machete, Hope. They have to
No?
believe he fell.
Okay.
"What?
I'll sit and tie him then.
Wait, what?"
Gonna grab him and smack his head against the rock.
Attack roll,
Vicious.
please.
What am I doing for this attack? Is it my unarmed
This is-
strike? Even
It's
though
an unarmed strike, yeah.
okay, that's 18 to hit.
I'm doing more like improvised weapons, like 1d4 plus your strength modifier, not 1 damage.
Okay, 1d4 plus 9.
Improvised weapons. Yeah.
That's 4 damage then.
Okay, so you take his head, you grab it, you smash it in against one rock, and you just hear a boom, this wet thud. As he's like,
Oh man, Bo's camera went
That
blurry
was
doing
perfect
that.
timing. It went all
Oh, he's
blurry. That was perfect.
Oh god.
and there's like blood and boogers like starting to form out of his mouth. He's like, wait, what? Wait,
One
wait,
more.
wait.
Do it again.
Roll again.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Okay.
What if even
That's 5.
what if I'm feeling super uncomfortable about the treatment of this guy? What should I do?
You should say I
something.
attack Stanley, or I do something, or I grapple him like he did to you.
I'm gonna grapple his arm and stop him.
Okay, so before this happens, grapple check, please.
Okay.
Wait, before the nat 20?
We have to give people a chance to respond since we're being
All right.
pretty. Yeah.
9.
Before.
Oh wait, 9. Yeah, 9.
Okay.
Oh, well, I can beat that with Dex. That's easy.
Okay.
Let's see. Is it just
What
my
number
Dex
should-
modifier?
It's your is acrobatics.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's 18.
Okay. So Stanley Nash runs forward to stop Stanley from this horrible treatment, but he's too quick. He just before he can get there, you grab him too late as he takes Brent's head and smashes it into a rock a second time, and all the shaking and wait what? Brent's body goes limp.
Hardcore.
I feel bad.
Nash actually says that. He goes hardcore.
I'll take the bottom of my shirt and start rubbing the rock so that there's no, head hit the rock, blood spatter.
Okay.
And then I'll look at Stanley and I'll go, he fell.
He fell.
Oh, look at Nash.
I'm starting to wonder. Starting to feel like I wish Vorel was with me, but I'm gonna say, are you guys all right? I feel like something's going on here. That was
Nash, he's wandering around looking for the camp for Celavis Stump, who we know works for the principal.
Yeah,
we
but
can't let him wander around freely.
But he's out of his mind. Well, now he has no mind, but he was out of his mind. He doesn't even know where he is or who he is or what he's seeing. He says he's here because somebody flew him up here with a mermaid or something, and he's going to a casino. None of this makes any sense. So he's not some special operative. I feel like this is just out. You guys wouldn't have done this before.
They trusted him enough to send him. He didn't just wind up here looking for something by the grace of whatever it is he's on. Celavis uses him as an operative. We don't even know if he's actually that big of a problem. He could have been using us.
It could have been, but I don't know. Both you and Hope just seem to have an edge now. Look, I'm the first guy to want to pick a fight, but I don't know. This guy seemed like just a big dumb innocent who's so addled from all the drugs he takes that I'm just not sure we did the right thing there.
We didn't do the right thing. I don't feel good about this, Nash. I'm not happy about what just happened. But if there were scouts coming to attack the camp, you would want to stop them, yes?
Yes. I guess
Well,
I would, but we don't really know. So if they weren't and he had nothing to do with it, well then that blood's on our hands. One more innocent that didn't need to die.
He told us as much. He even, when he got to the top, said, "There it is," in reference to a camp.
Or a swamp.
Or anything. I mean, he could have been pointing. He could still have some of that stuff in the system. Look, I'm just saying. Y'all are freaking me out. The way stuff happened with those dwarves and now this just seems out of character. You guys aren't hearing whispers of some shit.
No.
It's like
I'm
someone telling you to do something or anything weird like that. Can I do a magic check on these two? Arcana check.
Arcana check.
All right. I'm just feeling paranoid. I forgot what my modifier is. That would be plus... I don't even remember this. 5. So that is 20.
Okay. I mean, apart from the usual readings you get from Stanley, because he is someone that uses magic and he has a few magical items. There's nothing unusual that points to anything that helps further your hypothesis, and the same with Hope.
All right. Well,
So there's nothing there. Like
I'll finish by saying I just got a bad feeling about this. We can.
And Nash,
we are.
Oh, sorry. You don't have to join in this, but we're on a time limit, and we need to get stuff done, and that means people will die.
So I've resisted saying this, but I could go dragon form and fly us off this mountain. But
And then what? People looking for us see a giant dragon fly away. Nash, this is the problem. The reason why you're so put off by what we're doing is because we're thinking about how this is going to impact everybody, and you're just thinking about your conscience right now. Now, we are massively outgunned. We are in a dangerous situation, and one thing goes wrong, like, say, an idiot shooting a firebolt up into the sky. And it could mean the end of our resistance, and it could mean a lifetime serving Kotobal Praith. Does that sound good to you?
But if we lose who we are, if we lose our ability to understand those who can't defend themselves, then what have we gained? Nothing. I sound like Vorel. He'd say the same thing if he was here. There's no honor in this. Look, what if we turned around the corner and saw a giant tree full of living creatures? Would you just burn it?
If those
they were
creatures
spies.
posed a threat, then yes.
If I tried to talk you out of it, would you gently turn my head sideways and make me watch?
Depends on if you're dying or not.
All right, fine. I'll keep this to myself, but it just doesn't feel like you. Something's wrong.
Well, noted. We can talk about it when we find our way out of here. Right now, we're in danger too. We don't know where we are. Our fun little excursion has taken a couple of unexpected turns. We just wanted to go watch Vorel fight a bear.
The Northwest.
All right. So as you guys pick up your belongings, you leave Slippery Brent where he is, looking like he fell, and return to the camp. So after a few hours go by, curiously enough, Vorel, you hear some footsteps behind you as you make your way back to camp, and you sort of hunch over, worried what it might be. You don't want to lead it back to the camp. You don't want it to catch you by surprise. But there's a familiar smell in the air of Hope and of Nash and of Stanley. And you suspect it's your friends that are behind you, even though it doesn't make any sense.
Friends?
And crossing around a rock, a corner, you see three somber and very sad-looking people, all very introspective, walking towards the camp.
My friends, and I've got meat on my shoulders, the one bare arm, big old gash across my chest, hopefully like with the claw marks looking sweet. Holding Bok's hand.
Hey, Vorel.
I've brought meat.
Are you all right? You look cut up.
Yes. It was a glorious battle. He was a fierce bear. Perhaps king of this fine mountain, a small valley. I was hoping for a goat.
Nonetheless, I'm gonna reach out and just touch Vorel's shoulder and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Oh, wait, no. Oh. Well, I do feel better, and I appreciate that, but it would have looked good walking into town with it, yes?
You've regained 9 hit points.
Oh, wait, it might still be there.
Yeah. Maybe not bleeding quite as bad as it was, but
Yeah. It recedes somewhat, but you still have claw marks on your chest.
Yes, I'm still missing 12. 12 hit points worth of battle scars.
there you go. Now you're not bleeding all over the place and you still look properly badass.
The claw on my shoulder is to symbolize that this kill is mine, though the meat is for us to share.
Oh, thank you.
Is everyone okay? Did the town depress you? Did the people argue?
No, we thought we'd come out and see exactly what was going on for your morning excursions, and we ran into a bit of trouble.
Trouble?
Yeah, it didn't end
yeah.
well. Didn't end well. I can tell you that.
Should we go back to my camp instead? I have a mostly bear buried. There's some skin tanning in the sun.
No, I think we need to get back to the proper camp. I think we need to tell them that they may not be as concealed as they thought they were.
I'm sure they'll enjoy that.
Turns out we're garbage at finding our way out here. If you could lead us back to the camp, we would be extremely grateful.
You're almost there. You didn't make it that far anyway.
None of us are very good at this, Vorel. We needed you, but sadly you were the one we were trying to find, and we got ourselves lost.
Oh. Well, one day we'll... What was it, choose? What was it we gave Orp all those weeks ago? Magical talking...
Oh.
There's a dagger.
There's a dagger.
Daggers.
Yeah.
Yes. One day we will make those daggers, and they'll be useful.
I don't know if that's even possible, but that'd be great. In fact, it may even give us an excuse when we see Orp again and he's mad. We can say, well, yours must have broken, and give him one that doesn't. Or that does work.
I like this plan. That lie lays heavy on my heart still. This way. And
All
I'll
right,
lead
so
us back.
Vorel leads you back to the camp. Camp is pretty much unchanged for the most part. It's still a depressing amalgamation of refugees and survivors from Slave Town, and various makeshift canvas tents and shelters from wood stumps and canvas.
I'll pass out one strip of meat to Hope, Stanley, Nash, and then the bear claw with the meat still on it. I will look around for the jeweler.
I'm also looking for the jeweler.
Well, when you had last left, he'd entered into a camp near the center of town, a larger camp than most, so you'd probably find him there.
I am to present this as a gift to our hosts, and I wish to find the jeweler to address whoever may be leader of this encampment.
Okay, so who are you saying that to? Just your party, or
Yeah.
just whoever?
I need to talk to Bertrand as well. I'll follow you.
Okay, so you make your way into the center of town, where there's the table where they served you guys breakfast is there, and then there's the larger tent, and you make your way in. There's no guards posted at the tent really, so you just enter into the tent. This is a larger area. You see there's a large table with a map on it and several pieces spread out over the map, and you see there's a few men, including the jeweler, Trigger, and the sightless orc are in there. A couple other men. And Bertrand looks up at you and says, Vorel, King of the Deserts, welcome back. What have you got there?
A fine title. I present this as a gift to whoever's camp this is. You were plagued by a mighty beast, and I did fell it. Its meat is tender, and I thought you might sup on it.
Sup on it we shall. And the jeweler sort of puts a finger up, and a man from the side takes it from you and exits the tent with your gift. Where's the rest of the bear? Is he out there? We'll go get all of it. We don't want to waste any of it.
He is buried in my encampment.
In your encampment?
Yes, where I sleep.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. You have your own space. Understood. Loud and clear. How can I help you, ladies and gents?
Well, Bertrand, we ran into a bit of a interesting dilemma this morning. Do you know Slippery Brent from town?
Oh, yes, that little. I know Slippery Brent.
Do you know any reason why he might be wandering around the woods just outside?
Well, he's probably looking for this camp.
You
He was
knew.
probably sent to go find the camp and
You-
report back to his betters.
You knew Slippery
He's-
Brent, by the way. And then I turn around and let that just hang in the air a little bit. You knew who he was.
Sounds like Nash is trying to tell me something. Like maybe Slippery Brent slipped one too many times.
He had an accident.
Very good.
Very good.
The point is that they were not very far from the camp. While Slippery's been taken care of, I felt you should at least know that clearly Stump's agents have made it at least this close to us.
I have a feeling that Slippery Brent ended up here more on accident on account of his drug habit than any deliberate knowledge they might have had. But I think he did the right thing.
I don't know what you're talking about. He fell.
Well, I think nature did the right thing then. Right? He put his finger on his nose.
He's done that a couple
Bless
of
you.
times.
He's like Santa Claus. He's always touching his nose.
He's done it a couple of times now. I'm supposed to read something into that. I'm getting paranoid about everything. Everything everyone's doing is making me paranoid. Why is he touching his nose?
Awesome.
Well, I imagine you want to speak to somebody a little smarter than me about what's going on here. Now, this here's, we just call him the general. He motions to the orc without any eyes. He doesn't have a name. He gave up his name. But he's here helping us plot whatever kind of resistance that we can.
Stanley, it's that guy again.
Pleased to meet you, General. My name is Stanley Billing. This crusty individual is Nash Magard.
Greetings.
There is Vorel and Hope.
Bertrand's informed me much about your current activities in the region. He says I'm to trust you, but you'll still have to earn my trust. What's all this about a dragon? Is one of you a dragon?
Not at the moment.
Define dragon.
Like what they say in the books and tales. Giant beasts of scale and brimstone that breathe fire, that scorch this land.
Well,
None of
more
us
of
are-
a pony dragon.
The subject of fairy tales.
None of us have. We don't have one of those. Not yet. If we did, wouldn't you see him? You'd look out here in the camp and we'd have our dragon friend, wouldn't we? This is all horky.
Stanley starts doing this maneuver.
Oh, shut up now.
I am familiar with such things. And he sort of pushes aside his cape a little bit. You see two swords along shorter, I think it's the shorter one's a wakizashi and the longer katana blade. He's got two. I'm familiar with such things as dragons. So don't underestimate my intelligence. Are you of the Dragon Sons, Nash of the Solar Mines?
How do you know I'm from the solar mines?
Well, I know what the Solar Mines are. I was once a member of the Kuromukishi, but I've rejected its teachings. And I've removed my name from myself. And now I go where my path guides me, and my destiny is my own.
How'd you lose your eyes?
I've removed them so that I would not be lied to again.
Interesting. I would look at the group and hopefully you guys can sense I'm very hesitant to tell him the truth about this, but he seems to know so much, so
It's your story to tell, Nash.
You choose who you trust.
Just met this guy. And
There are
earlier
many sides in a war. Which one?
He was kind of a dick in the camp. I turn around and say, "All right, so what if I am? What's it to you?"
I simply need to know who among us are men with honor and who among us are dogs that must be slaughtered.
Which ones are dogs?
Those who believe in the vile religion and fraud that is the principle in Jesus Chrome. Those who believe in enslavement, and those who believe in using others for their own purpose and calling it good.
Well, I can tell you that none of us do that, dragon or not, and I'm agnostic bordering on atheist. I don't have any loyalty to Chrome or anyone. Neither do any of my friends here. I mean, Vorel's a little religious, but not in ways that are pretty cool. It's like lizard religion.
I'm a Firefox man.
Yeah. I used Edge for a
browser
while, but now I use Chrome. Yeah, because of Chrome, see? Firefox, Chrome. I used Opera once, but it was a terrible experience.
Yes, I too dislike the Opera.
So we're no threat to you in that way. We don't have allegiances or alliances, only to each other.
Very well. We have so little resources as it is. So long as you can be trusted not to reveal the position of the camp, that should suffice.
Does a firebolt count? Midday? That's okay, right?
Yes, I heard about this incident. This was a stupid thing for you to do. Please counsel yourself with greater caution in the future.
Yeah, I've been reprimanded before. That's fine. We don't pose a threat in any of the ways you've been concerned with. We're here to, primarily we're here to make sure we make it through this, but we don't have allegiances.
Were it not for the vouching of Bertrand and your friend Bok, I would have you slain where you stand. You have the smell and stink of the Dragon's Son cretins who dig deep into their caverns and create abominations for the principal's pleasure.
I sideways glance to Stanley and say, "Prestidigitation my ass." Because he thinks I smell still.
Bertrand tells me you know of a way to keep the principal from these lands so we can claim it for our own and strengthen ourselves before we strike back.
That's right. We've learned of a material called Celestium. It's capable of incredible explosive power, and we've been led to believe that detonating it in the mountains near the esophageal pass will cause it to collapse in such a way that it will be blocked.
Certainly closing the pass off is not an option we'd normally consider because there is no known such firepower. So how come you to know of this mysterious element called Celestium? And how are you certain it will work?
Well, it's something I guess you would have to be taken on faith. It was something we've learned of while we were pursuing another goal, but it's the best lead we have.
That is the most non-answer answer I think I've ever heard. How came you by this information?
You haven't been around.
How reliable is it? Do you trust your source?
No. Well,
If we find the artifacts, we can probably trust what was said.
Well, very well. I'm not going to be making plans contingent on what sound to me like myths that you will not share where it came from.
Look, the source of this knowledge is untrustworthy, to say the very least. But I trust that the source does want to see this come to pass. So, in that regard, I consider it trustworthy. Does that make sense? You can sense lies, right? That's why you plucked out your eyes. I'm not telling you one now.
Don't try to butter me up. Do I look like some tart?
Wait, what's a tart?
Some young person who believes in frivolous compliments that make them accept bullshit answers?
General, I don't give a good goddamn what you believe. What I know is that you're in a camp of people that barely have a sword or armor to their name, and you're grossly outnumbered. So whether
That's
you
true.
choose to believe the myth or not really doesn't matter.
Fine, what do you need from us then?
Well, I believe the general consensus is that our next goal is to try to free a group of people that were enslaved and are being held in the salivating fields. If we can get them free and get them back to where we come from, Dust Hill, that's another group of people that we can lend to this army. From there, we'd be heading to the Teat in pursuit of some artifacts that we've been told will help in battling. Among those is this Celestium.
So you wish to free your people of Dust Hill and then commit them to our cause.
That is the goal, though we would not be sending them here. Not right away. I wouldn't want to risk the location on people that we're unsure of if they would actually join. I can't imagine they have any fondness for Slave Town, but you never know.
Well, what exactly did you have a plan for attacking? The Salivating Fields fortress is quite well fortified, very difficult to impregnate.
Can't say that we do. We're gonna consider that with our little side
It's very
track today.
difficult to pregnate, not impregnate, but just pregnate, I believe. Oops.
We got a little sidetracked today. Today was going to be plan day. Some other things came up. We did a couple other things. We don't have a plan, as it were.
Well, come back to me with a plan. I don't even know what I'm giving up. If you need, people are committing their lives to your follies. I'll need to know how many, and they'll need to consent to doing it. Because the folks here do not walk a path unless they choose to walk that path. I will not send any young men and women to their deaths on some fool's errand. You can do that yourselves. He sort of wraps his fingers on his sword and seems contemplative. And Bertrand looks up and he says, my friend here, the general, is a very pragmatic person. So you tell him what you need and why you need it for, and he'll decide if he thinks it's good to commit his troops to the cause. Otherwise, we'll get you loaded up with food and on your way. Certainly no one here is going to complain about the closing of the esophageal pass. If you need more from us, the general needs to be satisfied. I think that's reasonable.
Sure.
There's this quietness in the tent as nobody leaves, nobody says anything.
I'll turn around and start walking out.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
You guys exit the tent into the cool evening air, stars above in the sky. And for a moment, there's a sound. As it echoes through the night sky.
A camel?
No. It echoes throughout the mountain sky. It's a loud, you recognize it as a dragon's roar. But you're not sure if anyone else will recognize the animal that made it as it echoes throughout the sky.
I look at you guys and go, wasn't me.
Should we get you somewhere safe, Nash?
Can I do a survival check to see if it's Fushi?
Mm-hmm.
12?
You're uncertain what or who made the sound. Just that it's distinct to you as well. That it's the cry of a dragon, far away, distant, echoing across the mountain range.
Any emotion?
So the people that are still up in the camp, everyone sort of stops what they're doing and looks around and looks at each other. But they don't seem so scared that it isn't maybe the first time they have heard the sound before. And everyone slowly goes back to what they were doing after a minute pause.
I don't like that.
Well, I think we need to figure out a plan if we're going to go save our people. If we're not, what are your all thoughts?
I think we should get the weapons before we take on the salivating fields. It sounds like a bunker, and we'd what would we have to siege it with?
Yeah, these people aren't suited for combat. As much as I hate the idea of leaving our people held for that much longer, I just don't know how we get them with what we have. Nash?
Yeah.
You seem to be questioning our morals a lot as of late. Where do you land on this?
I'll go where the group decides to go. I feel like if we set out to save people, we should try to do it. And if we can't do that, or at least we're reasonably sure we can't, then we shouldn't. But I feel like we're at a strange crossroads for the first time. But I'll go where we decide to go.
Perhaps there is no people to save in that case. It is the land we save. It is the future from enslavement we save. But these faces, the slaves of Dust Hill, they may be too weak. They may be already lost. Your words in there, Stanley, cut cold. We can't bring them here. They may have been allied. They may have been mind-controlled by bugmen. This world grows more dangerous each day. I fear the more we associate, the more danger we bring to them.
There's an ancient text from an ancient time with an ancient dictator who once said, "The death of one is tragic. The death of millions is a statistic." So I'm not opposed to saving one or two where we can. But where we can't, I agree the greater good is more important.
Then we are heroes of this land, of the wastes. Heroes of the wastes. And I put my hand into the middle. I'm not standing here.
And Bakbak goes,
Heroes of the waste, Bakbak.
I like that. Hero of the waste. Hero of the waste.
I look at their hands out and I turn around and I walk away into the camp. Head down.
Oh man, what a party pooper.
I'll put my hand on Vorel's and I'll go, I'll kill everyone who you got can. Not everyone. Just the ones that you guys can't.
I very slowly consider putting my hand in there, feeling the kinship with Vorel on this issue, but also still concerned. Stanley walking off, her going straight to more killing, and then I'm immediately distracted by the fact that Bakbak's nasty jackknife hand is in there, so I want to put it wherever it isn't. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go under the hands, I'm going to go to the side. I just don't want to touch his nasty ass goblin hand.
Okay, you can manage that.
Okay, I put it in there.
All right. But in case it isn't evident, Vorel is proposing a new name for your group. You've been called the Hill Guard, but you're shedding the skin of being the Hillguard. That there's a greater goal at work here, and saving the people of Hillguard is probably, it's bigger. You're heroes of the wastes. That you have a new name, and that's what he's proposing now.
Out of character, I like it very much.
Stanley has walked away. Okay.
So he's not.
But it's just laughing because Vorel's like, let's call ourselves Heroes of the Waste, and Hope's like, I'll kill everybody.
The ones that they can't kill. There are gonna be people that can't kill, and I can do that.
But you get what I'm saying? It's a non sequitur. He's like, we're the Heroes of the Waste. You're like, I'll kill everyone. You're like, you're not even paying attention. You're just like, yes, I'm in for killing everyone. But I was like, not what we were talking about. And so Nash, you put your hand in and you say,
I say Heroes of the Wastes.
And thus you guys are named Heroes of the Wastes.
Nice.
That'll be it for this week's adventure. Next week we begin a new adventure, not of the Hillguard trying to solve some petty problem, but of great heroes trying to save an entire country from an invading force.
Sure, we did a real good job saving a couple of people. I'm glad we stepped it up. We were really ready to move on to the next level.
Quest complete?
Yeah, we've got a good track record.
We out-leveled it. It's gray now. We're moving
on. We're moving on to the next zone.
Slippery Brent came back after like how many episodes? For sure, I'm not going to forget about Tally or those people. It's hard to remember. You set out to drain the swamp when you're up to your ass in alligators.
Yeah.
And now there's a ton of alligators, and the swamp draining's got to take a back seat.
Yeah.
So you got to kill all the alligators.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah. Kill them all.
I'm super into it.
You haven't failed. It's a big, disgusting world out there, and you guys are taking it all on.
Yeah. One skinny drug addict at a time. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. That was, of course, session 26. If you are like, man, I need to catch up on this. This is the first time I've heard it, and I want to know all the backstory. Guess what? I got great news for you. The entire series is in archive form, both in audio and video. Just go to therewillbedungeons.com, and all the appropriate links will be there. If you want the podcast, you can do that. If you want to see it on YouTube, you can do that. And we recommend doing that if you haven't yet, because it's a whole lot of fun to go back through that stuff. I think that's everything. That's it. Therewillbedungeons.com. Everything you need to know right there. We'll be back next week, normal time, with session 27 of There Will Be Dungeons. For me, for Bo, for John, for Kyle, for Kristen. We'll see you next time. Bye. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Well done.
That's a good question.